What up though, YouTube? It's Snooze You Lose back with another fire video. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. One time for the grind. So brothers, I was checking out this article and it was about black parents talking about the talk that they have with their kids about police brutality. As you can see, it say black parents that strive the talk they give to their children about police. And this is an issue that every black parent needs to talk to their child about. It's known as the talk, a discussion left almost exclusively to black parents and family members about police. It's maddening, one black mother said. I get so frustrated and angry about having to prepare my kids for something that they're not responsible for. The talk was the topic of a New York Times video from 2015 explaining how black parents have to prepare their sons for police encounters out of fear mainly that such interactions can go horribly wrong, ending with their son dead. These are the types of fears that have existed in the black communities for generations, but they recently received far more mainstream attention in the aftermath of high-profile police killings since the police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri in August 2014. Okay, guys, this is talking about Michael Brown. So obviously this story is before George Floyd and all of the rest of brothers and sisters that lost their life at the hands of the police. Yes, this article is from 2016, but today on May 22nd, this topic is still very, very viable to today. 4 or 5 years later, it's still the same thing. These are conversations that people of other races do not have to have with their children, one black woman said. It doesn't mean that every police officer is inherently a bad person, one black man said. But what it does mean is that the police force, that institution, does not look out for your best interests. Right. Not every cop trying to harm you. That's true. But the institution, which is the whole system, they're not looking out for your best interest. Very well said, brother. As one mother put it, he is going to turn into a large, scary black man. And that's who he is. But that's how he will be perceived. That's not who he is. But that's how he will be perceived. Yeah, I mean, if you show any kind of aggressiveness, any kind of anger, you're an angry, scary black man. Unfortunately, she's right. Study after study show black men are frequently perceived as larger, scary, and more prone to criminal activity than people of other races. For black parents, that means a typical police stop turned into a violent encounter is a very real, terrifying possibility. Most people are at least a little racist, even if they don't know it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's more black people nowadays in 2022 because, like I said, this article is from 2016, and you had the George Floyd stuff happen since then, and a whole lot more stuff happened since then. Okay, so there are more black people that's a little racist than it used to be. Okay. Now, far as is the Caucasian, we all know what they got going on, but I would definitely say there's more black people racist nowadays than it used to be. Okay, because they realize that you can't be part of a different culture because they're going to treat you a certain way. Or let's say you are a part of that culture. As soon as you make a mistake, or like this sister stated, as soon as you get angry or turn scary or change your body language, they're going to assume you're an angry black man. So what's the point or even trying to be part of the culture when you can't make one mistake. You can't get upset about anything. As part of a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology in 2014, researchers studied 176 mostly white male police officers and tested them to see if they held an unconscious dehumanization bias against black people by having them match photos of people with photos of big cats or apes. Research found that officers commonly dehumanized black people, and those who did were most likely to be the ones with a history of using force on black children in custody. Using force look at this, on a child. Children. You using force on a child. Like, come on. In the same study, researchers interviewed 264 mostly white female college students and found that they tended to perceive black children ages 10 and older as significantly less innocent than their white counterparts. Okay, so a black kid that's 10 years old is a criminal. So a white kid at 10 years old is more innocent than a black kid at 10 years old. Yeah, okay. That's why you see them arresting a lot of black kids. Because even if you a kid, they want you in jail. You know, that's why they got juvenile. And juvenile is cool for some people. You know, some teenagers, some younger adults that do horrific crimes, juvenile is good for them. But to say less innocent is, you're basically saying that a black kid at the age of 10 is a criminal. That's the way I look at it. Children in most societies are considered to be a distinct group with their characteristics such as innocent and the need for protection. Philip Goff, a UCLA researcher and author of the study, said in a statement, "Our research found that black boys can be seen as responsible for their actions at an age when white boys still benefit from the assumption that children are initially innocent." Right. So a black kid at 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they consider them an adult. But a white kid, oh, they're just a kid. See, you got to understand the agenda. When you read these things, you got to understand the agenda. Because they do researches like this. Okay? That's why I bring this video to light. Because all black parents need this talk, but we also need to look at this little experiment they did. Because this experiment shows you. It shows you how the cops feel about white people. It shows you how the cops feel about black people. And then it also shows you how the cops think black kids are criminals. Okay? Like I said, they feel like the white kids are less innocent and the black kids are criminals at 10 years old. I've never been so disgusted by my own data. Other research suggests there can be superhumanization bias at work, as well, with white people more likely to associate paranormal magical powers with black people than with other white people. And the more they associate magical powers with black people, the less likely they are to believe black people feel pain. Another study found people tend to associate what the authors call black sounding names, like Deshaun and Jamal, with larger, more violent people than they do white sounding names like Connor and Garrett. Okay, but these are slave names. This Deshaun and Jamal is a slave name. Okay? Now if you're talking about Mercedes and all that, that's some sister made up in the hood. But Jamal, Deshaun, come on, man. We didn't make those up. Those slave names. The only difference is Connor and Garrett were names for the kids inside and for the master. But, you know, these names, man, They gotta miss me with these names, cause these the master names aren't our names. You know, I've never been so disgusted by my own data. The lead author of the study said in a statement, the amount that our study participate assumes based only on a name was remarkable. A character with a black sounding name was assumed to be physically larger, more prone to aggression, and lower in status than a character with a white sounding name. This is what I don't understand. It doesn't matter what my name is. My name does not control how physically large I am. My name does not control how aggressive I am. And my name does not control how low in status of a person I am. And to be honest, there are studies about people who can't get a job, or they have the same credentials, or they have the same degree, and because of their name, they don't get a chance to get the job. So when you say lower in status than a character with a white sounding name, that's because you're not giving the black person who has a name like Deshaun or Jamal a chance at the job. So that's why they're lower in status, just because of their name. You can't make this up, guys. These biases can seriously impact people's lives. As one can imagine, subconscious racial biases can have real effect on people's life, such as their job prospects. Didn't I just say that? In one study, researchers sent out almost entirely identical resumes, except some had stereotypical white names, while others had stereotypical black names. The white names were 50% more likely to be called back for interviews. Police kill a disproportionate number of black people. U.S. population. Okay, they're trying to say we're only 13%, but we're killed 31%. 39%. What I don't understand is, and this is from 2012, I'm pretty sure it's worse today on May 22nd, 2022. But what I'm not understanding is, if black people were slaves, if black people are the ones who work at the fast food, if black people get all the shit jobs, who the fuck gonna do the shit jobs if you plan to kill all of us? You guys aren't gonna do it. So I don't even understand why they would have their race soldiers, aka police, coming at us like this. Because you're not going to replace us. You know, that's what Caucasians have to understand. Learn the value in a black man before you try to just harm the black man. Or the black woman, because I see videos of black women being harmed. These biases also may contribute to greater use of force by police, studies show. For example, that officer shoot black suspect more quickly in a video game simulation. A university who conducted the research said it's possible the bias could lead to even more screw outcomes in the field. In the very situation in which officers most need their training, he said, we have some reason to believe that their training will be most likely to fail them. Yeah, their training is failing them, because their training is telling them, if you see a black person, hold up, run away, or get your gun out, because they're going to hurt you, and it doesn't matter if they're only 10 years old. Knowing about the implicit bias and its consequences is important, researchers say, not just to prove how terrible the world is, but because awareness is one of the ways to combat such biases. Police departments have, for example, taken steps to train their police officers to resist their biases, a potential important reform to reducing the racial disparities in police stops and police shootings so feared by black parents. Okay, here's another police shooting. He's running to shut off his dash cam. Now, I'm not going to play this video, But as it say, while recording the police is so important. This man turning off his dash cam after some kind of. I want to say this guy was running from the police, and then his car flipped, and then as you can see, these other officers probably pulled him out the car, or he pulled himself out the car, or maybe he flew out the car. But now you see these cops all around him, and then here's another cop, 4 cops, 1 suspect. Okay, so and you could just see this from the thumbnail. I don't have to play the video, but this cop is turning off the dash cam. And I believe that's it for this article. But yeah, he's literally turning off the evidence. So these guys can, you know, attack this black person. But yeah, we as parents, as black parents, we definitely have to have the talk with our sons and our daughters, because it's not just the man. I've seen women get hurt too. So we have to have this talk. And if you're out there and you still haven't had this talk with your child, you know, you never know what can happen. So be aware and keep your head up and teach your kids how to interact with police. And as I always say, I will see you guys later in the next one.